Assalamualaikum, salam Malaysia Manani and salam IPG Peneraju Pendidikan Guru Bertaraf Dunia. Good morning and a warm welcome to TR2. Before we begin, here is a quick reminder about the time management signals for today's presentations and Q&A sessions. During each presentation, a bell will ring once at the 15-minute mark as a reminder, and then twice at 20 minutes to signal the end of the allotted time. For the Q&A session, a bell will ring once to signal the start, and the 5-minute mark, the bell will ring twice to indicate that the session is concluding. Thank you, and we hope this helps keep our session running smoothly. Without wasting more time, we are honored to have Evaluator 1, Mr. Wan Muhammad Sohairi bin Abdul Sani, and and Evaluator 2, Mr. Chan Seong Lok, with us today. To start our session, our first presenter, Najmiatun Akilah binti Raizul Anwar, will share her research on the perception of PSLB 3553, drama in the primary ESL classroom in enhancing speaking skills among trainee teachers at IPG KDRI. Let's give Najmiatun Akilah a warm welcome to the floor. Sorry for the time. The team of the printer is not.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning I bid to my honorable panel members, Mr. Sohairi and also Mr. Chan, as well as members of the floor. Thank you for being here today. My name is Najmiatun Akilah binti Raizul Anwar, and I am honored to present my thesis entitled The Perception of TSLB 3553, Drama in Primary ESL Classrooms in Enhancing Speaking Skills among Tesl Training Teachers in IPG and KDRI. I would also like to express my sincere gratitude to my supervisor, Ms. Fatin Suryati binti Jusuf, for her invaluable guidance and support. So shall we start without further ado with the background of the study? According to a study by Chan 2021, he highlighted the importance of speaking skills, which is speaking is vital for Tesl trainees' language proficiency and effective communication in teaching. He also noted that many Tesl trainees face anxiety, fear of mistakes, and lack of confidence hindering their speaking abilities. And a study by Vaishnavi and Ajit in 2023, they noted the role of drama in enhancing speaking skills, which said that drama-based methods can help people become proficient speakers and better communicators. Next is the statement of problem. A study by Singh et al. In 2020, Tesl training teachers need strong speaking skills for effective teaching, but speaking anxiety often hampers their development. Similar to a study by Kachinathan and Aziz in 2021, they quoted that their statement is most language learners encounter language anxiety, but the degree of this anxiety can vary from one individual to another. However, there is a study by Bishara and Behar. The study noted drama correlating real-world situation, whereas in another study by Aspendi and Mustafa in 2021, they noted that dramatization helps students improve pronunciation and also vocabulary through repeated practice. Next, we will move to the purpose of this study. The first one is research objective, and then research questions, and the last one is research hypothesis. We shall move to the research objective. For the research objective is they are aligned with the research questions. So this study intends firstly to assess the perception of Tesl training teachers regarding the effect of TSL in 3553 course in enhancing their speaking skills. Is to specific aspect of speaking skills believe is most improved through the use of drama. And the aim is a significant difference in the perception of male and female Tesl training teachers on the effectiveness of drama in enhancing speaking skills. So for the research questions, is this aligned with the research objective? Next, I have two. The first one is null hypothesis, and the second one is the alternative hypothesis. For the null hypothesis, there is no significant difference in the perception of male and female Tesl training teachers regarding the effectiveness of drama in enhancing speaking skills. For the alternative hypothesis, there is a significant difference in the perception of male and female Tesl training teachers of drama in enhancing speaking skills. For the significance of the research, the first one, this study aims to help the training teachers in IPG by encouraging them to recognize the value of the TSLB 3553 course and to engage more seriously with its content. This study also aims to help the lecturers in IPG by gaining insights into the effectiveness of their instructional strategies and identifying the best practices of the course. And the last one is this study intends to help the Maklumat Kursus and key developers by providing insights into educators' needs and preference that can inform the course design. For the research theory, I used two. The first one is multiple intelligence theory by Howard Gardner, invented in 1983. A study by Daspidar and Chaudhary in 2018, they noted that dramatization is a holistic approach that activates various intelligences in line with Gardner's framework. For the second theory is sociocultural cognitive development by Lev Vygotsky, invented in 1930s. In a study by McLeod in 2024, he noted that this theory focuses on zone of proximal development, ZPD, and also learners refine their language skills through authentic communication in a social context. For the related past research, I have chosen these three. The first one is a local study by Bisharat and Behabs in 2021. According to drama in Malaysian ESL classrooms, this study noted that drama-based learning enhanced student social skills and built a positive association with English learning. For the second past research is an international study by Nguyen in 2023 about the impact of drama on speaking skills in Vietnam. Nguyen noted that role play and drama exercises enhance fluency and communicative competence. The third past research is also an international study in India about the drama's role in building confidence and oral proficiency. The researchers noted that drama allows learners to speak freely by reducing the affective filter and promoting natural speech flow. Next is the research design. For this study, I used a quantitative approach and a survey as the instrument. And for the analysis of the data, I used the descriptive analysis and also inferential analysis. In this study, the population is the 106 of PISMP Tesl August 2021. July 2026 intake training teachers in IPG and KDRI who will enroll in the TSLB 3553. And for the sample, according to the TREC and Morgan 1970 sampling table determination, I choose 82 Tesl training teachers from the population. According to the table, I should choose 80 to 86 respondents. So I choose 82 respondents. And for the technique, I use random sampling to ensure the fairness of choosing the respondents. For the instrument used for the data collection, which is the questionnaire as the instrument, it is distributed online by a Google form, and it used 5 Likert scale, which is the first is strongly disagree, neutral, agree, and the fifth one is strongly agree. And this instrument is adapted and modified by the existing instruments from 3 past studies. The first one is from Dara Najwa F. Ridanda in 2023. The second one is from Vaishnavi and Ajit also in 2023. And the second one is from Wilda 2018. And in this instrument, there are 19 items in total, and I divided it into 6 sections. For section A, it is about the demography of the respondents, such as the class and also the gender. For section B, it is about the impact, the general impact of the drama course on developing speaking skills. And for section C, D, E, and F, I focuses on the aspects of speaking skills, which is section C is about aspect of vocabulary, section D is about aspect of grammar, section E is about pronunciation, and section F about drama improves speaking skills in the aspect of intonation. Okay, so this is the data collection procedures. Firstly, I obtained the research instrument by adapting and modifying from the existing instruments from the past study. And then a formal permission letter from the Vice Rector of IPGM to the IPGM KDRI Administrative Department is sent. And then I consult with my supervisor to measure the validity and reliability of the instrument. And then I submitted the instrument for validation to JBI, which is Jabatan Pendidikan dan Pendidikan Inovasi with Dr. Dodiana. And then after that, I received the JBI approval and for my validity of the instruments. And the 6th step is ask class representatives, which are the 6 classes in TSLB 3553 for their consent, and then distribute the questionnaire link through WhatsApp. And the second last one is set the response deadline. And the last one is analyzing the data by using the apps Jamovi 2.6.2. So for my data analysis for CX, I have used the Jamovi 2.6.2 version. And from these apps, I analyze 2 types of analysis, which are the descriptive analysis and also inferential analysis. For the descriptive analysis, to answer the research question 1 and research question 2, I use descriptive statistics, which we look at the mean scores. And for inferential analysis, I use an independent t-test to answer my 3rd research question. So to measure my validity of and reliability of my instrument, I conducted the pilot study, and this pilot study involved 16 Tesl training teachers from IPGM campus Bahasa Antarabangsa. And these respondents have the same homogeneous traits with my respondents in the study, which are they are enrolled in the TSLB 3553, and they are also from PISMP Tesl August 2021 July and 2026 intake. So, according to Lewis et al. In 2021, pilot study sample size recommendations vary widely from 10 to 12 to as many as 60 to 75 participants, depending on the study's focus. So, according to this table, a compound outcome criteria, I gained the Chromebox Alpha score my Chromebox Alpha score is 0.834, and from this table we can see that the score is under the classification of good. So we can see that the instrument is reliable and valid enough to be conducted for the real study. Okay, so let's move on to data findings for research question 1, which is what are the perception of Tesl training teachers regarding the effectiveness of PSLB 3553 course in enhancing their speaking skills. So as I said earlier, I will look into the mean score and I compute all the sections in the instruments except the demographic one, and I got the mean score of 4.68, which we can see in the mean interpretation table. It is a high mean score sourced from JBI in 2002. So this finding suggests a generally positive perception of the course impact on developing speaking skills. So these findings is supported by 3 studies, which are Lee and Liu in 2021, Accuse and Tanis in 2020, and the last one is Atas in 2015. These studies are also get the same finding, which is positive perception of the cost of drama course impacts on developing speaking skills. So by getting this mean score, this high mean score, according to Accuse and Tanis in 2020, drama activities positively affect various speaking skills, notably pronunciation and intonation. And similar to Lee and Liu in 2021, the study noted that drama-based tasks with authentic audience significantly enhance oral representation skills. So the answer to the research question number 1 is Tesl training teachers have positive perceptions regarding the effectiveness of the PSLB 3553 course in enhancing their speaking skills. Next, we move on to the data finding for research question 2, which is the what specific aspects of speaking skills do Tesl training teachers believe are most improved through the use of drama. So by using Jamovi, I compute the items according to each section, section C, D, E, and F, and I look to the mean score. So according to the mean score, section F has the highest number of mean score, which is a 4.82, and it is concluded that it is a high mean score. And through this finding, we can see that intonation is perceived, which is the section F is about intonation. Intonation is perceived as the most enhanced aspect in speaking skills. According to a study by Piazzi, 2018, drama's repetitive practice and expressive demands help learners focus on clear speech, which is the intonation. And a study by Leon Gomez et al. In 2021, voice modulation signals emotion, motivation, physical traits, and enables musicality. And from this finding, we can relate it back to the research theory, which is the social cultural cognitive development. So, in a study by McLeod in 2024, Vygotsky suggests that social interactions are essential for language development, allowing learners to refine skills like intonation through authentic communication. And it is also supported by a study by Lee and Liu in 2021. Intonation in oral presentations is significantly enhanced through drama-based tasks with real audience. Let's move on to data findings for research question number 3. Is there any significant difference in the perception of male and female Tesl training teachers regarding the effectiveness of drama in enhancing speaking skills? So I used the independent sample test, and the p-value I got 0.417, which we can see that if the p-value is higher than 0.05, it's concluded that there is no significant difference in perceptions of based on gender. And for this finding, we can see that both male and female Tesl training teachers view drama as an effective tool for enhancing speaking skills. So a study by Galante and Thompson in 2021, both genders benefit from drama activities, but males may perceive a slightly greater improvement in speaking abilities. So a study by Blankley in 2021, he noted that drama-based language learning strategies were equally effective and positively received across genders. So the answer to this research question is there is no significant difference. So we can see that the null hypothesis, which is the no significant difference, is accepted, while alternative hypothesis, there is a significant difference, is rejected. So the conclusion of this study for research question 1 is Tesl training teachers find PSLB 3553 effective for improving speaking skills, reducing anxiety, and boosting confidence. For research question number 2, intonation is the most improved speaking skills due to drama's focus on vocal expression and modulation. For research question number 3, drama activities reduce anxiety and encourage expressive language use for all participants, regardless of gender. For the implication, this study intends to help the Ministry of Education, MOE, the Maklumat Kursus NK developers, IPG and Federal Tesl lecturers, IPG and Federal Tesl training teachers in schools, and lastly is for educators in school. And for recommendation of this study, the first one is to enlarge the sample size of respondents. Maybe I can pick another batch, not just focusing on 21-26 batch. And the second one is to ensure equal representation of male and female respondents to get more reliable data. And the third one is to integrate different research designs, maybe choosing a qualitative approach to get a deeper insights of the perception. So these are the references to this presentation. With that, I think that's all from me. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Ms. Nia, for the insightful presentation. Before we move on, we invite our panelists to share any questions they may have. No mic, no mic.
First of all, congratulations to Nabi Abdul for successfully preparing the Viva today. Okay. Only one question. Were you short of resources? When you carried out your research?
Thank you so much for the question. Thank you so much for the question. For the study, I have found many resources, but for the instruments, it is hard for me to find the existing instruments because most of the study hide their questionnaire items. So I need to get through to so many resources to adapt, because as a new researcher, we can't just create our own items. So we need to adapt from existing past research instrument. So for me, it's hard to find the existing instruments because they hide their instruments in their study. They just give the findings and also discussions. So, but to give statements or to support my study, to give a claim or statement, for me it is easy because drama is a general subject to everyone, and as an ESL learners, many have used drama to enhance speaking skills. But for the instruments, yes, I admit it is hard to find to adapt to my instrument.
Okay, go back to your slide for population example.
So good.
Okay. Why did you choose to use random sampling?
Okay, so I choose to use random sampling to ensure a fair representation of Tesl training teachers. Firstly, because there are 106 of
Wait. Your total population is 106. Why didn't you use the whole population instead of sampling?
excuse me again, sir.
Your population is small, 106. Why did you use the whole population instead of sampling?
The whole population.
Okay, do you know why there is sampling? Why?
Because they have simple traits, homogeneous trait, and then
Sampling is to reduce the number of participants. If your population is too big, that's why they have sampling. So the samples basically represent the whole population. But if your population is 106, which is small, you don't have to use something. You can use the whole population, and you can get even more accurate data because it represents everyone instead of something.
I
Okay.
understand.
So sampling is basically for a large number of population. You can use population, whole population instead.
Because I think 106 is already big.
No,
Okay.
10,000, 50,000 is big. Okay. And then for pilot study,
Pilot study.
okay, that's the total value, right?
Yes.
What about the individual?
Individual.
Individual
I
items.
I am very sorry. I just compute the whole as the overall score.
Okay, you need to be individual. Why? Because if you have like how many items?
19.
19,
Except the demographic one,
16,
70.
17. Okay, 17 items. Among all the 17 items, if you use individual from alpha value, you can see which item you need to drop or change. Why? Because this is the whole, the overall number of from alpha value. But if you compute individually, you can see which item should be accepted and which item should be dropped. Because you want to test the reliability for each item, not the whole. Because sometimes if you compute the whole, the higher from alpha value will cover the lower value. Okay.
Thank you, sir, for the information.
Okay, so mean interpretation table 2002, that's the latest one.
No, but there is a study that used the interpretation table, but he cites it from Jamia Ahmad 2002.
It is still relevant.
Oh, no.
2002 is like 22 years back.
Yeah. I'm sorry for the
And then data discussion for RQ3.
RQ2.
Perfect.
This one?
Yes, this one. Now the hypothesis, you cannot say it's accepted. It's failed to reject.
Oh,
That's the statistical term for hypothesis.
it's failed to reject.
Failed to reject. You cannot say accepted. One is reject, one is failed to reject. Failed to reject means accepted one, but the term is failed to reject. And then you don't have to put alternative hypothesis is rejected on this one.
Oh, this one.
This one. So when you say now this is failed to reject, you have to start with it. I think that's all.
Okay, thank you so much.
Alright, thank you to our panelists for the feedbacks and questions. Our next presenter is Nasrul Naim bin Rizal, who will be discussing his research on the effects of using English subtitled movies on higher CEFR vocabulary learning. Please join me in welcoming Nasrul to the floor.
Impressive.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. I will present my research, which is the effect of reading English subtitle movies on higher CFR vocabulary learning. So my supervisor is Miss Mohan, and I'm from the office. What will be fine? That's okay. So, for the background of the study is, new vocabulary are gained through various methods, and with the development of technology, one of the effective methods to learn them are through videos from release 2019. And also, vocabulary is the reflection of the learner's mastery on the language as an important factor, especially in learning and mastering English language. So, put it together, students have positive performance in vocabulary when exposed to the subtitle from Malay 2024. So these are the background study that inspired me to conduct this research. Okay, so the problem statement for my research is that higher CFR vocabulary is needed by the teacher trainees, especially to pass certain examination such as web or FGIS, to get CFR C1 level to graduate. The student lack dependence on learning vocabulary, always depending on teachers and lecturers to provide them with new input. So if the student do not know how a new word sounded and spelled, they will become less likely to absorb the word into their vocabulary for material. So this statement leads to why we have movies with subtitle and movies with not subtitle. So next, subtitle allows the students to identify the words spoken, makes them easy to absorb the information and increase their comprehension from pronunciation 2024. So from this formal statement, I provide using English subtitle on movies to increase the teacher trainees vocabulary in order to get the highest CFR level for them to graduate. So for the objective of the research is to examine the effect of English subtitle movie on the PISMP 2001 and 2025 Tesl students in improving their vocabulary. And the next is to analyze the effect of English subtitle movie on the PISMP 2001-2005 Tesl students to improve their answer in the pre-test and the post-test questions. And the last one is to find out the differences of watching movies with English subtitles or without subtitles from the selected teacher training students. So moving on to the research question. The first research question is, what is the effect of English subtitle movie on the teacher trainees students to improve their answer in the post-test question? So that is, what is the difference of watching movie with English subtitle or without subtitle from the selected teacher training students? And the last research question is, what is the effect of English subtitle movie on the teacher training student in improving their vocabulary? So moving on to the research hypothesis. First is the null hypothesis, which is there is no significant difference between students that watch the movie using English subtitle, which is the experimental group, and students that watch the movie without using the subtitle, which is the control group, in improving their highest vocabulary CFR level. And so for the hypothesis is there is a significant difference between students that watch the movie using English subtitle and students that watch the movie without using the subtitle in improving their higher vocabulary CFR level. So for the significant is for the student, the trainees itself to understand and recognize the best way to learn the vocabulary needed to pass the higher CFR level requirement in their examination. And also for the teachers, learners, lecturers, educators in their field to analyze the effect of English subtitle for learning vocabulary. Alright, so for the underpinning theories that I use in my research is first I use Mayer's cognitive theory of multimedia learning, which uses the information which he presents there. Information is presented in both text and graphics. That when we learn, there are two channels for learning, which is the auditory and visual. Whereas when we optimize both of these, we become a better learning situation for the students. So for the next theory is John's Valor Cognitive Loop Theory, CLT, which deals with the human brain processes and stores information. And then you say that learning environment is also aligned with the cognitive capacity, which makes how much the student, if student handles stress, if the student have more stress, how can he absorb information? So to learn, like for example, when you watch a movie, you need to, without subtitle, it becomes more burden for the students. So with subtitle, we will lessen the cognitive load theory, we lessen the load in the student, and then we'll create a better learning for them. So this is the conceptual framework, which is, as you can see, this is a quasi-experimental design, which is first we form the student performance in the pre-test, divided into the control group and the experimental group. And then for the control group, we implement the movie without subtitle, and for the experimental group, we implement the movie with the English subtitle. And then the result will be collected after the implementation of the movie. So this is the related past research, three of them, which is first the effect of English subtitle on vocabulary learning after intermediate student by Malik, 2022, that uses control group and experimental group as well. This is an international study which found that watching film with English subtitle improves the learner's vocabulary knowledge. And the next past research is film subtitle as a successful vocabulary learning tool by Carnelo Polo, 2019, which is also an international study, which he found that subtitles lead to increased engagement of the viewer. And then they stressed that film abstract to be used in the language classroom as a source of authentic materials. Okay, for the last one is the use of English subtitle on film to help self-study in mastering vocabulary by Fauja 2023, which is a local study. It stresses on the learning vocabulary is essential to master a language and self-study, which she delved into. We use the movie as an independent learning source. So this is the research design for my research, which is quantitative. The research proposal is experimental design, which we have the experimental group and the control group. So for the analysis, I'm going to use descriptive analysis and inferential analysis in this research. So these are the population of my study, which is we have 57 teachers trainees of Tesl, PISMP 2001 from IPG Campus 1, Brother Ismail. And also the sample, I choose 20 teachers training of PISMP Tesl 21 to 25, divided into two groups, which is a control group and an experimental group, with 10 people each. So the continuous cluster sampling we will use to select the groups according to their clusters, because cluster sampling uses you already have the classes in the batch. So using the classes, we use one classes have 20 people, another class has 20 people. So cluster sampling means that I'm going to select 10 students from this class and another 10 students from another class. So that is the cluster sampling. So convenience sampling also will be used to filter the clusters. So the participants will be 10 each, and it is cost effective and less time consuming. So after I divided into 10 each, I'm going to select 10 each from two classes. So from that, I'm going to select any individual that are willing to work with me for this research. So that's for the population and sample. So the instrument will be pre and post test, which will be having 10 questions only. So we have two sections, which is section A and section B. The 5 questions is about synonym knowledge, which is choose similar word. And section B is the definition knowledge, which is the match the correct definition. So these pre and post tests follow exactly like the empty vocabulary format test. And questions are adapted and based on the video that going to be used during the intervention broadcast. So these are the instrument used. So for data collection procedure, first I'm going to have a pilot study, and then going to distribute, after the prepared study have been done, going to distribute the pre-test questionnaire, and after that, distribute the movie with the subtitle to the experimental group, and the movie without subtitle to the control group. So and lastly, we're going to distribute the post-test questionnaire. So for the data collection procedure, which is the data collected, after that, I'm going to use a ANOVA calculation, which I'm going to calculate myself using Excel, which is ANOVA is used to calculate when you have different groups used in the research. So let's divide into descriptive analysis and inferential analysis. So for your information, I haven't done this research yet, still ongoing, so I don't have any other.
Right, thank you, Nasro, for the presentation. Before we continue, we invite our panelists to share any questions they may have.
I have several things. The first one would be why you haven't finished the study, the research.
We have the team, especially with my health. Last week, I haven't been doing anything. I was having a fever. And also before that, also the camera.
Why did you choose further experimental?
Also, I spent that is because
You know, further experimental is time consuming because you have control group and you have the experiment group, and then the time frame for you to conduct further experimental is not short. It's going to be a long process because you want to see whether the experiment group really have any effect with your interference group. Okay? And then, I don't know why they choose quasi experimental. Okay? It's easy for you to choose only simple quantitative with survey. Okay. And then you state there pilot study. How did you conduct pilot study for quasi?
so it's 30% of the population and about the sample. So I mean, I will just do for control group and then do for the experimental group.
You test what? What you want to test? During the pilot study.
The same question.
Test the question only.
What's the question?
No, you want to test the questions only.
Yes.
Because when you decide to use quasi experimental, it's kind of different. You don't use questionnaire, you use questions. Because you want to see whether the pre-test and the post-test have any significant difference. Okay? You need to really know why quasi. You need to really understand why quasi. And you need to have the time frame. How long you want to conduct the study? Because quasi is usually months. Okay. And then when you say you want to make one control group and one experimental group,
Yes.
you need to have the characteristics, almost the same characteristics for both, or else your quasi is not going to be effective. There's so many flaws. Okay. Have you consulted your supervisor on this?
Yes. And so
Let's answer that.
Yeah, last rule, I quite disappointed if you want, because you are given so much time, but until today you can't finish, you know. So you have to work extra hard, and in order you have to get your research done. Yeah, I have one question. Okay, what is the relevance of your study to the current scenario?
whether it's passive to my study,
Yeah,
to the profession.
to the current scenario, that will be our educational scenario, especially.
We will affect how they are view subtitle or learning as if it's an alternative for them for learn. So the student have very hard time to study itself. So by having a movie with subtitle, so by knowing that, they can actually learn while they are like resting or whatever. So yes, it makes them an alternative choice for them to learn.
That's general.
We appreciate the panelists for the valuable questions and feedback. To conclude our session in TR2, we now have Nur Alisa Najihah binti Rosli. The name is wrong. Nur Zafira Husna binti Azizi, who will present her research on investigating the relationship between pair storytelling performance with collaborative learning among ESL training teachers. Please join me in welcoming Nur Alisa. Nur Safira. Sorry.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning, update to the time and so introducing myself, I'm Dr. Nabi Galibi from Tesl and my supervisor is Dr. Muhammad Chandan. He brings us. So this is my research title, which is entitled Investigating the Relationship Between Pair Storytelling Performance with Collaborative Learning Among ESL Training Teachers. So let's look at my research. So the background of the study, these studies inspires me to do these studies. Firstly, a study from Melena R. Simsack, Egypt, et al. 2020 stated that combining pair storytelling with collaborative learning supports both academic and social skill development. And also a study by Nair Yunus 2022 also support that collaborative learning emphasizes social interaction, critical thinking, and problem solving. Next is storytelling enhances linguistic skills, fosters creativity, and cultivates emotional intelligence by Ermita and Sari 2022 for the research study that inspires me to do this study. So how about the problem statement? The problem statement that I found to start the journey of my research is many young people struggle with social interaction affecting their personal and academic success, actually. A study by Similar Figure 2023. And it leads to another study by Owen 2006, states that students with strong social skills are more likely to succeed academically and maintain positive relationships with peers. So another problem statement that I found is most studies focus on individual language skills, which overlooks collaboration in peer settings, which can contribute to social and academic success. As a study by Dewey and Lichtenstein, 2022. And it leads to another research by Fisher et al. 2019, where previous research indicates that storytelling can serve as an effective medium for fostering collaboration among learners by creating shared experience that enhance interpersonal connections. Okay, now I outline my research objective. What do I want to reach in my study? So first one is I want to assess the relationship between storytelling, performance, and collaborative learning among ESL training teachers. And second thing is I want to identify the difference between male and female training teachers regarding how pair storytelling performance related to collaborative learning based on their perception. Okay, now moving on to my research questions. So what questions do I ask myself in doing this research? So first thing is, what is the relationship between pair storytelling performance and collaborative learning among ESL training teachers? And the second question I ask myself in this journey of research, I ask, is there a significant difference between male and female training teachers in their perceptions of the relationship between pair storytelling performance and collaborative learning? So, I see that the research hypothesis I stated is there is a significant relationship between pair storytelling performance with collaborative learning among ESL training teachers. Now, then, the purpose of my study is I believe that this research will give a clear view on the relationship between pair storytelling performance and collaborative learning among ESL training teachers in IPGN PDRI, particularly. So what is the significance of my study? I believe that using storytelling in ESL training builds trainees' communication and collaboration skills, study by Masa et al. 2022. And another significance is a study by Amin Aziz et al. 2020. It shows that how pair storytelling actually boosts collaborative learning in an ESL training, supporting task-based learning and constructivist approaches in other interdisciplinary areas. Now, I refer to literature review, the related past research to support my study. So the first thing is, I found that a study by Wahyunia et al. 2019 that think like share and storytelling approach actually emphasize positive interventions in collaborative activities, and it's also enhanced teamwork. And also it enhanced teamwork and improved storytelling learning experience among students. They in this study they use think pressure EPS strategy approach. And another study is by Catifari et al. 2022. It explored interactive digital storytelling in history education, enhancing historical empathy and social interactions among 15 and adolescents through decision points in narratives, which is done collaboratively during the COVID-19 era. And another study is by international. It is a study in metric by Gomez et al. 2021, which involved 116 primary students engaging in online collaborative storytelling, again in COVID-19 era, fostering creative expression and social connection during isolation, as we know in COVID-19 era. Okay, so I plan to do my research using quantitative approach, where it is going to the first one 2040. This study can use a quantitative design for numerical data via structured questionnaire, allowing for analysis of relationships and trends in our particular studies. And also, I plan to do that analysis using descriptive statistics to summarize my data and inferential statistics to make population conclusions, which will produce a comprehensive understanding of the data by 2018. So the data management, as usual, we use statistical software to ensure accuracy in results by 2018, and I use particularly Geometry. So my population and sample. My population is Ambilan SMP, Tesl of 2021 to 2026 intake, which consisted of 126 training teachers, 126 Tesl training teachers. And the sample, I took a sample from it, 97 training teachers, sample size determined by, from Craigie and Morgan's level, 97 students. So I took 97. And then my instruments questionnaire. I adapted and modified my questionnaire, and it is based on closed-ended questions. The questionnaire survey is adapted from a past research, which have 5-point scale, and it consists of 5 constructs. Section A, which the student responds name of the background. Section B, positive interdependence. Section C, individual and group accountability. And section D, face-to-face problem interaction. Section E, interpersonal skills, and F, group processing, which can be divided into 2 variables of learning performance and collaborative learning. And it is adapted by from a study by Navi, Mohammed Yunus, and 2022. So this is my research procedure. I started with ID problem or issue I want to start with, and I reviewed the related literature that can support my research and the reason, and then create the research objectives, research question, and research hypothesis. And moving on to choosing sample design, pilot tests, doing pilot tests, collecting the data, and analyze the reliability, and then process and analyze the real data, and then doing the report writing. And for the data collection procedure, I started with obtaining institutional approval from RPGM, and then I validate my questionnaire instruments with my supervisors and then to JBI, and then I will administer the questionnaire to the pilot study, and for the pilot study, and also for the real study. And then I gather and compile the data, and I conduct the data analysis with JBI. So this is the data analysis procedure, and this data analysis that I used. I use relevant reliability tests, descriptive statistics, independent t-tests, and report writing for the final step. So this is my findings for pilot study. I used 30 respondents for my pilot study, and it is supported by Yale 1998. Of the number of participants of post-survey research projects can be in the range of 10 to 30. And also, I used the reliability test of alpha complex, and I got 0.959 with 24 items, which refers to the category of excellent or referring to the study of Homework 2040. 0.9 and above is best. So now moving on to my real study data for the mean interpretation, I found that there is 3 items that is contrasting the most. So the first one is the C9 and the F23 item, where they have the highest mean of all items, which is 4.74, and they got the same highest mean. And so I found out that they are the most answered of 4 score or 5 score of these questions. So the question is, I was able to find the knowledge with my partner, and most of them are strongly agreed. And also, I was able to learn through my mistake with my partner, which is a collaborative aspect. There are also a lot of score on 5 and 4 score on these 2 questions, 2 items. And the last one is the lowest mean score that I got is I managed to depend on my partner as he or she depended on me. So that is the lowest mean that I analyzed from my data. So from that item, I found out that not all activities of collaborative learning can achieve the best result. So we can see that the best result is the knowledge interchange and learning from mistakes, but also from respondents feels that they are unable to depend on their partner as much as them dependent on their friends. Okay, now let's move on to research question 1. So what is the relationship between best horizontal performance and collaborative learning? So I use Pearson correlation coefficient test to analyze if there to answer my research question. So I found out that the Pearson's right value is 0.8.7, which is we can refer to this table. It is category of very strong relationships. Correlation test shows that the relationship between past storytelling performance and collaborative learning has a very strong relationship. While the p-value here shows that it is less than 0.05 as the standard p-value to measure. It is 0.01. So it shows that it has a significant relationship statistically. Okay, now moving on to research question 2. Is there a significant difference between male and female trained teachers in their perceptions of the relationship between storytelling performance and collaborative learning? So I do an independent t-test and I find that the p-value is 0.943, which is more than a 0.05 p-value, and it has no significant statistically significant difference between the groups. So an independent sample t-test that has been conducted to compare collaborative storytelling performance between male and female trained teachers shows that there was no statistically significant difference between the groups. So there is no significant difference of the perception of the relationship between male and female training teachers for storytelling performance and collaborative learning. So my discussion of this research, I found out that this finding might imply that collaborative storytelling as a teaching method promotes collaboration effectively across genders and making it a universally applicable strategy in teacher education. And it also suggests that there was no statistically significant difference in collaborative storytelling performance between male and female statistically. And lastly, this result suggests that collaborative storytelling activities can be designed and implemented without the need of gender-specific modifications. Both male and female trainees are likely to benefit equally from this method. This approach making it easier for instructors to plan activities that foster collaboration more in classroom. So my conclusion is there are strong relationship between collaborative learning and storytelling performance among ESL teachers, and hypothesis is accepted. There is a very strong relationship between storytelling, performance, and collaborative learning. So the recommendation for future research is I believe that I can adapt and modify more relatable and more inclusive instruments according to the sample used. And I can have a bigger population, 126 instances is still small and just in our compound. And I can include samples from different intakes or maybe different RPG, a broader area. And research design, I believe that I can explore mixed method research design or qualitative research design to not just find a result from a quantitative approach. Maybe I can find it from the interviews and others. And I can also garner more detailed results and findings from unexplored fields. So, what is the application? What are the applications of my study is, firstly, for the teachers, by referring to the Study of Career 2020 again study, it is the development of social skills that we want to pursue for training teachers. So it can also be reached by collaborative activity. That's it for instructors. We can promote more critical thinking and critical problem-solving skills, which can be essential for economic success and real-world applications, a study by OG and Aham Yoji 2023. And for the curriculum developer, it is to contribute to educational practice for the MK and RMK development. And this research will inform educators and curriculum developers about effective strategies for integrating storytelling into teacher training programs, thereby enhancing pedagogical approaches, but it also applicable to interdisciplinary subject and areas. So that's all for my research.
Alright, thank you, Ms. Zafira, and I'm sorry for the inconvenience just now. Now I would like to ask the panelists for the Q&A session.
Foremost, congratulations to Zafira. Well done. Okay, after the completion of your study, which part of the process did you enjoy the most?
I think after the collection of the data and the literature review process, because from the literature review, I find a lot of benefits, a lot of findings from other researchers from different areas, from digital areas, from during the COVID-19 areas, and also the benefits that I haven't know and I haven't discovered yet about storytelling and collaborative learning in broader area and other activities that is implemented in RMK or AMK. And another thing is for the process of collecting the data, I think I found out that actually the male and female teachers' perceptions of collaborative activities is almost the same. And there's no significant difference, and they support the collaborative learning in back storytelling performance activities. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Go back to your research hypothesis. Okay, what is this? Null hypothesis or alternate hypothesis?
I think it's alternate.
Okay, when you want to state your hypothesis, you should start with null hypothesis. So there is no significant relationship. And then you prove by your data analysis. It's either you want to reject or you fail to reject your null hypothesis. If you reject null hypothesis, then you accept the alternate hypothesis. Okay, alternate comes second. Always with null hypothesis first. Then, see, population and sample, population is 1 to 6. You can use the whole population instead of sampling.
Yes, sir.
I'm not so sure about your pilot study. How many participants? 30.
That is what it is.
And just like the previous, you should list all the items from alpha value.
Okay.
Okay. I know it's a high reliability instrument, but still you need to use it because you adapt from
Understand.
understand you belum what you understand.
Yeah.
That's why actually you get.
Oh. Okay.
She's the decan.
Is it?
Okay. And then okay. Okay, what can you understand from the correlation test?
From the correlation test.
Okay, you said that the relationship between pair storytelling performance and collaborative learning is strong. So how do you perceive that? What can you understand from being strong, having strong relationship?
I believe it goes hand in hand, where it's done fair, so there is a collaboration with other peers settings. So in the for storytelling themselves, if we done it individually, we got the benefits individually. So develop within ourselves. If we do it collaboratively, I believe there's much more benefits, such as interpersonal skills is developed through that, and social skills also developed through that. So from that many factors, it is highly related.
Okay, it's basically when you say about correlation, when one thing goes up, the other thing follows. Okay, in this study, basically, when you do collaborative learning, the pair storytelling performance will increase as well. So you have to understand that it's if you plot the data, you go like this. Both will go up. Okay. And then I think
we appreciate the panelists for their thoughtful questions and feedback. And I would also like to thank the presenter for the detailed and thoughtful responses. Please remain seated while the panelists finalize the marks for the best presenter. We commend all presenters for their hard work and insightful research. Our gratitude also goes to the esteemed panel of examiners for their valuable feedback.
stop. Come on, 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Okay, next meeting. Thank you, Masa. Mr. Shen certificate.
And next.
Next.
Oh.
You, Masa. Pasang din na ba you come back. Huh? Secretary. Bin Abdul award to the best presenter of this session. After careful consideration, the panelists have selected the best presenter of this session. It is my pleasure to announce the best presenter goes to Ms. Nur Zafira. Congratulations. One, two, three. A special appreciation to our examiners, Mr. Y. Muhammad Sahari bin Abdul Wasani and Mr. Chan Seong Long. This concludes our seminar session for today and the 2024 PISMP Tesl Education Research Seminar. We hope today's presentations have sparked new ideas and further interest in education research. With that, we would like to invite all panelists, presenters, and committee members to proceed to the lobby for the high tea session. Please join us. We continue to mingle and enjoy the refreshments. Wishing you all a wonderful day at the Good afternoon.